wisst ihr?
Welcome to the last evening event of the Deutsche Museum für Schwarze Unterhaltung und Black Music. I'm speaking English tonight because we have an international guest, and we will talk with Lori Glori, who's our guest, and Sarah Farina, and we will talk about the exploitative structures of the music industry. First, I want to introduce my first guest, Lori Glori. Lori is an American singer, composer, and music producer. She began her singing career as a child when she and her sisters formed a successful gospel group. She toured Europe as a backup singer with Bill Summers and the Summers Heat and decided to stay in Germany to pursue a solo career. In Germany, Lori worked as a studio singer for internationally successful band project. She can also be listened to on several tracks by DJ Bobo. In some of these projects, other faces were used for live performances and video performances. So Lori's appearance is far less known than her voice. But actually her voice is like the voice of the 90s. Nevertheless, she continues to work on her own songs such as Body and Soul, Claim It, and the two new tracks that we will hear tonight. Lori Glori now lives in Switzerland and Malta, teaches voice training, rhythm training, and mentors young artists. We will now hear the most recently released tracks by Lori Glori featuring, actually it's the other way around, produced by Sean Norvis, and I'm really proud that I can present her today. Welcome, Lori Glori.
Thank you. I'm so very happy to be here tonight. The song will be available Friday. It will be the premiere of Children of the World. I heard it on the radio today. I see it every moment on TV. Their destiny. And now I see it clearly, I realize, oh yeah, we have to give, don't close your eyes. From this moment on, I know we can make a change. Just reach out a hand and fly to Wonderland. Children of the world, let's start giving. Give a helping hand to understand, so this dream will soon come true. Children of the world, let them live and take a little piece of everyone to every little child. The world. I can feel the world is changing. I can feel it deep inside. No more fear, no more tears. There's no need to try. The time is now to open up your eyes. Just to find a rainbow and finally see the light. From this moment on, I know we can make a change. Just reach out a hand and fly to Wonderland of the world. Let's start giving. Give a helping hand to understand, so his dream will soon come true. Children of the world, let them live and take a little piece of everyone to every little child. I believe in peace for everyone in the world. I believe in God above, so take his other's hand to understand. Give a helping hand to every child. Let's start giving. Let's start giving. Give a helping hand. All we gotta do is give a helping hand, and all your dreams come true. Let's start giving. Every little too, every of the world. Children of the world. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. This is my latest release. It was released a week ago. And it's kind of hot in here. And this is called Jungle Samba. It's a story about a young lady being dropped by her husband or boyfriend. Put yourself in the story, and having mental problems afterwards. But then she finally gets up on her feet and does the Jungle Samba. Here it is. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Come on, clap those hands. Oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. I'm not angry, I still feel it. All your touches on my skin, I still remember what you told me, that your arms are made to hold me. Empty spaces, empty myself. Since you left me, I am speechless. Why you left me isn't over yet. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh. Every night when I close my eyes, I can see I am alive. From all that past, I am stronger now. No more pain, I'm not sad. So everybody, come on, dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Dancing, dancing. Every night when I close my eyes, I can see I am alive. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Dancing on. Come on. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Dancing on Jungle Samba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. dancing, dancing, dancing. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget, don't stop dancing on Jungle Samba.
Thank you so much.
welcome.
Thank you. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You really do.
I try. I try to keep it up after turning 61 a couple months ago.
Yes, I don't believe it. It's crazy.
I love it.
And I also want to introduce our second guest, who only joins us digitally, but I'm very, very happy that she does, which is Zara Farina. And Zara is an international DJ, producer, and activist. She hosts her own club night, which is called Rec Room, with DJ Uta, Kepler, and Lucy 1E. She's innovative, she's skillful, and she's the smiling antithesis of genre cliques and sour scene elitists, and sprinkles positivity over the darkest bass. What you hear is all you need to know. And what you hear from Zara Farina's sets and music productions are seamlessly blended bass-heavy frequencies and futuristic beats with fearless forays through the hardcore continuum and beyond. It's inclusive, forward-thinking, and unrestrained. It's a genre-rejecting style that she's named Rainbow Bass. She's vocal about the issue of current club culture and runs the project Transmission with Kerstin Meissner, which aims to make the political relevance and history of international sound, club, and rave culture audible and visible. Welcome, Zara Farina. And that's actually what we're here to talk about, because your story is so amazing, and it's also it really touched me so much when we found out about it, and also me and Zara, we talked about it a little bit in advance. I want to start actually somewhere way before or how your career started in the US before you came to Germany, and I want to talk a little bit about your experience, and then of course I would like to invite Zara to join the conversation as well. So let's start with where your career began, and yeah, let's have a look.
And from Northern California, let's welcome a most exciting band. It's their latest single on the MCA Whitney label entitled Jam the Box. Put some hands together, gang, for Bill Summers and Summer Heat.
Yes, so
Wow.
that was 1982. How old were you?
82. Oh my God. I was 23, something like this.
And you were the only female member of
I was
this.
the only female member in the group, and so I had like 13 big brothers, and it was kind of hard.
And this band, Bill Summers and Summers Heat, was also your way how you came to Germany.
That's right. We came over to we left we had gold record in America. We toured America. It was all over. It was amazing tour all over through the South, and some really great experiences we had on the tour. And then we decided we wanted to record a new album, leave America, and so we went to London to the Paul McCartney studios. So we filmed the last album there called London Town, which I wrote actually the title track for that from that album. And then from there, from finishing the album in London, we came over to Germany and we toured Germany, and we were like 6-7 months out.
And then the tour was up. Everyone was at the airport, and I was like, yeah, ready to get on the plane. And something said, no, you're staying here in Germany. So everyone, they left me. They got on the plane. I stayed here, and I've been here ever since.
Yes. What? Yeah. I mean, you. Where did you live? Where did you move first? Where did you?
Frankfurt.
You lived in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Right. And we briefly talked when we went through the exhibition that you lived in Frankfurt and you also were a regular
Funkadelic
visitor
fan.
to the
Yeah.
Funkadelic. And maybe
Funkadelic was the spot.
Was the spot. And maybe I mean, Sarah, you are very you're a much younger generation, no? Like, and how was your way into the music industry and also the club culture? And maybe we can also already talk a little bit also about the fact that you're a black woman in this industry. We can't hear you. Wait a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes. Great.
Okay. All right.
Now we're here.
all good. So I would say the first time I got in touch with club culture was in Berlin, because, I was born in South Germany. I moved to Berlin a couple of weeks after my 18th birthday because I wanted to work in music, didn't really have a plan. And I would say I was not the typical teenager who was into clubbing. I was quite nerdy, So it took me, like, I would say 2 years until I went to a club for the first time. And during my teenage years, I was always watching Arte tracks. I don't know if you know, maybe it's like this show where they teach you about different underground cultures. And I remember seeing this group called Your Majesty, which was a group of 3 Black queer women, and they were rapping over electro beats. And I saw a flyer when I was in Berlin that they were performing, so I definitely wanted to go. And this party was hosted by a DJ team called Sick Girls. And I went there, and this whole party completely blew my mind. I've never heard this kind of music before and never experienced such an energy in terms of music as well. And so that was like a very unique point in my life in terms of music for me. And then I started going to every party from the Sick Girls. And so they kind of educated me in music, and yeah, I started DJing, and then we also became friends after some time, and they also became my mentors. So yeah, that was kind of like my starting point into electronic music, I would say.
And because your entrance was very different, because what you just said is that your first contact was like this queer black female group. So for you, it was natural that you had a place in this business, or
I would say it took me some time to realize a lot of things, also in terms of my identity. You know what I mean? I think that's connected with me growing up in South Germany in a smaller town, being one of the few Black or brown people, and always like having this kind of feeling that you're different. And that you, in some places, you feel like you don't belong, and kind of like this club space or this party in particular gave me this kind of feeling that I would feel home. But during that time, I think I wasn't really aware of how political it really was for me,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, you can also ask.
So listen, when you said that you were kind of nerdy or whatever, and that you were living in a small town, so did you ever have any problems with the people speaking bad about you or making fun of you in any kind of way?
Not in such a bad way, but more like, you're just a weird little nerd person, you know what I mean? It was still kind of like they're being kind, but not really, It was like sometimes people treat you in a way and nothing really bad happens, but it's more of like a vibe you feel. And but I had like my one really close friends, and he was basically the same as me, and we were really into like hip hop music from J Dilla. That's actually how I found this passion for digging for samples and wanting to know where music comes from. Because when we speak about this topic today about exploitation, the exploiting structures of the music industry, I feel like sampling is a big part of it, And it's just not normalized to ask questions like, where are you taking from? What is your intention? What is the story behind the sample, and so on?
Yes. It's really funny because a lot of these young people today, you know, the songs that are out, they don't realize that those are samples, that those songs have already been released. Like, I was partying on those songs 30 years ago.
Yes.
But they really believe that, wow, did you hear that's a new song? It's not new, that's so old.
Yes.
You know, so it's kind of funny when I hear some of these samples, and people, the young generation, they have no idea that these were really major, legendary songs, everlasting, evergreen songs from the past.
Yes, and I mean, maybe we get into that later, but I would also be really interested in how specifically then this practice or these structures are operating in Germany. And I think we should, we're gonna kind of go forward 10 years, because what we just saw was you in '82 and you were still in the US. And when did you move to Germany? Was it like mid '80s or beginning of
I never left. I mean, when we left London and came over to Germany, that was '82 or '3 or something. Girl, you're taking me way back. But I never left Germany. I stayed here until that time.
Yeah, and so we're gonna look. Yeah, we're gonna look into the next video, which is a song from 1992, and then we're gonna talk about it.
Tingle down my body, from my head down to my feet.
Beautiful.
Such a sweet sensation, makes me feel so weak. I give you my body and my soul.
Yes, so that was 1992. The song is called Body and Soul, and maybe you can tell us how the production conditions were. How did you get to make that song? What happened?
I was singing somewhere, and Brad Howell, the writer from Milli Vanilli.
Yes, he was one of was he not also a singer from Milli Vanilli?
Yeah, yes. One of the original singers and writers, songwriters, and everything. Yeah, so he's a very good friend of mine, and so he saw me singing somewhere, and he said, Frank Farian is looking for a new singer, because it was right after the Grammy scandal and all that. And so I think he had gotten, a lot of people in the industry were kind of upset that they got played by Frank Farian, this game with Milli Vanilli not singing live. So he was looking for a real singer. And so I got off the train. I'm going to how I got my name, Lori Glori, actually. I got off the train in where is it? Frankfurt? No, Bad Hamburg.
Bad Homburg.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
it's close to Frankfurt.
Yes, yeah. To the Frank Farian studios there, and I got off the train and I had on yellow, and Brad said, Lori Glori, hallelujah, let the sun shine in. That's where the Lori Glori came in, and he took me to Frank Farian's studio. And Frank Farian, we did the song Body and Soul, and I mean, he put a lot of time and energy in it. He's a very, very, very good producer, and I have a lot of respect for how he does the music. And so that's how Body and Soul came about, and it did really good. It was like an anthem in the gay clubs. It was a really gay banger, and I had a lot of fun with it, performing it. And yeah, that's basically how it came up.
So your experience with Frank Farian was just like a professional one, and
it was just professional.
And because you were a singer, it was all like kind of.
But what happened was it was all bad timing for me. Poor me. It was bad timing because he wanted to go to New York and present the new singer. This is not a no more plastic Milli Vanilli act. He's a real artist who can really sing, and so his girlfriend Millie, where Milli Vanilli the name came from,
yeah.
She was the one always representing going to the States, to Sony Music, and And she called back and she was like almost in tears saying that they had left her sitting in the lobby for 2 hours, didn't even offer her coffee. It was like they didn't even want to hear nothing coming from the Frank Farian studio. So I got the bad end of that stick. But later on, after a couple of years passed, he came out with the La Bouche, and then,
Yes.
yeah, so,
But had you recorded before with other producers or
that was my very first intro into the dancing.
Okay.
With Frank Farian,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Sarah, if you have questions, just like kind of.
Yeah, I actually have one.
Okay.
So we just heard your song, and it's like house music. I would say electronic music for sure. And I feel like there's this narrative out there when Black people produce house music or they sing house music or whatever. It's like, what? That doesn't match, you know? It's like this weird narrative out there, especially that.
This was the beginning of house.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering, did you get any backlash from some people? Because sometimes I even met Black folks myself who are like, what kind of music are you producing? That's white music, you know what I mean? So like, kind of like unaware of the roots.
I'm still getting that in America. It's like, you know, the music that I have done well with out here in Europe, you know, it's like in America it's not. But you know, they finally did come out with dance music, you know, after the fact. It's like the songs that we were playing here, like 2 years later you go to America and now they're listening to it. But my family and my direct people that I grew up musically with, like for example Bill Summers and these guys, they're not trying to hear all that house and dance and stuff like that. They are like straight into the real, you know, that real hardcore, the way the music was done years ago in the 80s. So they're into that kind of sound. And so I was like, ooh, why are you singing that music? Why don't you sing something like Anita Baker or whatever, you know? And it's just, but it's never been my passion. This is actually, this sound has always been my passion. So.
But
I did get backlash.
Yeah, I think that's really an interesting point that it's assumed that this is not you in a way, but I think that's why, I mean, this song is also one of my favorites because I really actually feel that is you, and you can hear, I don't know, I'm like really not, I don't have no clue about music, but I really feel that you can hear that it suits you and yes. and it fits your voice, and it's, yeah. Okay, maybe we go into the next production, which was, we will just have a look and then we talk about it.
I'm curious.
Yes, so this was 2 years later, 1994. The project was called Intermission and featuring Lori Glori, and it was produced by Michael Eisele, Thorsten Adler, Tom Keil, Noisy Katzmann, and it actually reached the top 20 in Germany, and it stayed there for 11 weeks. So maybe tell us about this production as well. How did this come to be, and how did you meet the producers? How was your experiences?
The experience.
You have to use the microphone.
Oh, don't forget to use a mic. But no, the experience was okay. I mean, I had my problems with accepting the intermission part, because who is intermission? There was no intermission, and it was like, so intermission featuring Lori Glori, but who is intermission? There was no intermission. So this bothered me for a long time, but anyway, I had to get used to it. They offered me the whole LP deal and the whole promotion. So it was a good package that I got as far as my royalty package was concerned. But then we split apart. The production team split up. So there was producer four guys as producers. So they split the groups up. Loft, Intermission, I think it was Captain Hollywood, it was like 4 groups they had under their production company. And then they started fighting amongst each other. So they split the groups. Okay, you take this group and we'll take that group. So I went on another side of the team, which I never had a chance to really spend much time with them.
You didn't have a say in
I
any
didn't
of
have
this.
I didn't have a say, and so I'm still waiting on my royalties. Haven't had none of those in about 20 years. So I would love to see one of those guys again today.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the Contact lost their studio, burned down, but I hear still that they're around, but under different names and things like that. So it's kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sad the way things end.
And this was really also like the high day, like I don't know, the how do you call it, like the highlight of Eurodance time.
It was. This was the beginning. This was it. It was like banging. Wow.
And when I spoke to Sarah Farina in preparation of our conversation, you also sent me a lot of examples of. I mean, this is still a very different project because at least your name was in it, but you already said that. Actually, what was Intermission? It was nothing.
It was me. Intermission was me.
So in a way, would you say that Intermission was just a way to keep the control with the producers?
Keep the control with the producer. Kick you out, get another person in.
And exactly.
They could change anytime they wanted to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that was all about.
And maybe Sarah, you can also tell us about the things that you found or your research and the work that you have done so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as I said, I was always curious and not really like in terms of like, I want to find out about all the bad things that are happening in the music industry. Like my starting point was like the curiosity when it came to sampling. And then over the years, being a DJ, being in the electronic music scene, there are a couple of things that I noticed. Like, first of all, there are a lot of white DJs who co-opt Black identity. And so what sometimes happens is, everybody loves Black culture, but not Black people. And so, for example, when we speak of Detroit and Detroit house or techno music, there's this really special, unique, soulful sound to it, and people try to copy that. But to make it more cool or raw, whatever, they write a whole narrative around it, and it sounds like a biography, like someone found tape somewhere in a house where no one is living in anymore, and they give this project a name, but you never really see a face until one day somehow it comes out that there's actually a white producer behind it, but they pretend it to be like, oh, it's something that I found somewhere in a old house. So that's like one thing of co-opting Black identities. And another thing is, when we're speaking of house music, there are so many house hits like Gypsy Woman and all of these songs that we know. And often those women are not really, they don't really got recognition, and often we don't even know their names. But they appear in the videos, but something is kind of off. And it just seems like it's an ongoing, normalized structural problem in the music industry where Black artists are being exploited, but especially Black women. And then there's also a lot of colorism at play, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And somehow it's the music industry thinks it's nicer to sell certain kind of music genres with a white face, and it sells better or whatever. And also colorism, of course, what we can see everywhere all the time. And I feel like there's responsibility as participants in the music industry, as a music lover, DJ, promoter, club owner, just to treat each other in more humane ways, I would say. It's about accountability. And for me as a DJ, I'm like, where do you get my music from? What is the story behind the music? Because how can you know where you're going if you don't know where you have been, kind of? Mm-hmm. And that all sounds maybe heavy and too political for some people, but I also want to say that it's very joyful to do this kind of research and find out about those stories and people and cultures, because often the music that is the most soulful was often a response, almost like a spiritual response to very violent environments, you know, when we think of house and techno music from Detroit, because I'm speaking often about Detroit because I spent some time there, and I actually had the privilege to meet some of the key people from underground resistance, people like Mike Banks, and they really like activated me even more to be more responsible as a DJ or participant in the music industry.
Yes, yeah. I can totally to relate something to something that you said, in that how joyful it is to get into the stories, because that's also how I felt when I found out about you. And in a way, I think it's also the fact that your voice is so familiar. It's like, and like you said, it's kind of so soulful, and it speaks to you, and in a way, yeah, you want to know more about it, but at this time it was not possible. And I think it's really great also that we had this conversation and talk about this fact that really using this, just the simple act of kind of using this producer name, Intermission, that it kind of took the control of you as the voice and as the...
So it's more like a project. Oh, it's more like a project.
It's more like a project, and it's not a, it's not an individual. Yes. I think that's really important. Let's look at one more intermission project, because this song, I think, I remember it also, that it was in the charts.
Give peace a chance. Give peace a chance for a new generation. Give peace a chance for a new generation. It's the power of word. Give me the chance now.
Give a piece of chance to follow my thoughts. Train your brain while you're believing in God. Knowledge is one thing and here comes another. Unity, you better live with each other. I'm sitting and thinking the way I pick up a microphone. Take a look around, you're not on your own. Give it a piece of chance, one love, one nation. Sing it for a new generation.
Give peace a chance for a new generation. Give peace a chance for a new generation.
And when I prepared the videos, I wanted to cut the white rapper out.
The rapper that wasn't even the rapper.
It wasn't even a rapper.
The rapper
exactly.
that wasn't the rapper.
But I kept him in because I think it's important also maybe to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I would like to really say that the rapper the rapper on this video and a lot of other songs that are out there, he never got his recognition either. And his name is Big Daddy Alex Belcher. Great rapper, done many ghost rapping for many acts, and never got recognition because he had signed with a management company, and they forbid him to be to perform these by himself. So Alex Big Daddy Belcher.
Yes, it's great that you also mentioned.
And we're
his
still
name.
in touch today. We in fact we did the 90s festival November 19 2019. And it was really nice, and we talk, and we got some projects that we're working on together still today. So yeah, Big Daddy.
And I think maybe this video is also, and because you talked about it, it's also an example. I don't know if it's related to colorism, but I think for sure it's related to something that we also spoke before about, the fact that there could only be one black person in the videos. Like we talked about that there's many Eurodance projects, and either you had a white singer, supposedly, and a black rapper, or you had a black singer, and then the rapper was white, how we saw it in this case. And I don't know. Maybe you want to say something about it also, Sarah?
Yeah, that's so interesting because it makes me think of this whole discussion that Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion triggered through their web collaboration. It's like two super successful, powerful black women in the music industry, in touch with their sexuality and they're collaborating, which is huge because, as you said, in the music industry, there can be only one successful Black woman. And I just love that they collaborated, but everyone is talking about something completely different, how shocked they are, how two Black women are in touch with their bodies and sexuality. And I feel like, we need more collaboration, and because I feel like that's the future, especially between female identifying folks, you know. And I'm wondering, Lori Glori, were you aware that you're a Black woman in this European music industry? And did you feel like some kind of role model? Did you think about collaborating with other Black folks? Were you like in touch with each other? Because there were some other Black people in the music industry in this music genre.
I did some collaborations. I did a great collaboration with a great singer. Her name is Victoria Miles. She's a little bit older than me, so I think she's about 5 years older than me. But she did a lot of things like with Peter Maffay. She was in the rock and roll scene, part of the music industry. But she was a great songwriter, and she's also written some of the new songs that I have coming out. She's living in Spain right now. So we did some collaborations together. But when you said collaboration, I thought when DJ Bobo asked me to perform on, to go into the studio with him, that it was a collaboration. So you got to be careful what over here in Europe, okay, about going in the studio with people because make sure it's a collaboration or they just want to steal your voice. Because what they did to me was not a collaboration. But I was thinking, oh, wow, I have a top 10. I'm in the top 10. I'm number 5 or something, and he's number 1, but I'm moving up the charts. You know what I mean? And we're on a mega dance festival. We're on a 2-month tour, traveling all over Europe as the main acts. And so he says, okay, we have 2 days off. Let's go in the studio. Let's, do a collaboration together. But lo and behold, it was not. It was actually, he just tricked me out of my voice. And so today, that's why I like to mentor young artists that are coming up, in the industry. Everything that shines is not gold. You understand? Take care of what you see, the fine print, that little small fine print at the bottom. Make sure you get that stuff read by a professional lawyer. And so yes, but collaboration is what they do a lot of in America. You always have different artists, on performing on their tracks together. But in Europe, it just doesn't seem to work like that. They want to use your voice and put another face on it, so that's not a collaboration.
So there's really no, there was no, I mean, we're talking about the 80s and 90s, but there was like no structures that you could have created yourself to support each other. I mean, I can imagine that also has to do with money, because of course the producers are always the one with power, and we will get to speak more about DJ Bobo later, but it seems like at the end they could always withdraw the project from you, no? This is how it seems to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe let's look at the next example, because I'm interested how this one came together, because your name, this is now the first project where your name is not mentioned in the credits, which I found.
We're flying high, we're flying right up to the sky. We fly so high, we're flying right up to the sky. We're flying high.
We fly so high, we fly so high.
We're flying high.
We fly so high, we fly so high.
Yeah, so I think everybody knows this song, and as I was researching, actually, I also found that a very famous German rapper sampled also the song, Sido, I don't know if you know. And this is Captain Hollywood Project, and the rapper is Tony Dawson Harrison. This is the same producers that you worked on with Intermission, but I was wondering why. This is your voice, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And why
100%.
Why was your
but
voice?
This was not produced by the. I forgot. I'm really not sure if this was produced by DMP or not. Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
I mean, I checked it on.
It was DMP.
Okay, I think it was
so maybe
them,
that's why I did it, because I was
Okay.
with them. Yeah, but I didn't do it knowing that this woman was going to be in the video moving her lips.
Okay, so you didn't
This
know.
I did not know.
Okay.
And I was shocked. And someone will tell you when I found out that Alex, Big Daddy, the rapper, he was there with Tony in the studio when I made the phone call to Tony, cussing him out. Motherfucker, why'd you do that to me? It was crazy. It was crazy. No, it wasn't. It was not planned, and it was hurt me very much. Hurt me. Even when I watch it now, it's like, ugh. It's like a knife in the back.
Because this song was also super, super successful.
Super successful.
And this is also something we talked about before that, or this was my theory, I don't know if it's true, and maybe we can talk about it, that in this time, during 92, 94, 95, 96, your voice was like everywhere in the German chart, or the European charts.
Yes.
You were, that's why I said you were the voice of the 90s. Your voice was everywhere. But then I also, the way I thought about it was like, okay, of course, because producers could use your voice on 10 different projects and sell it as 10 different projects. And so, you know, it could be in the charts so many times, and if you're just one artist with one album or one song, and it takes time. I mean, this is how the structures also were back in the days, that you could only bring out one song, and then you had to promo it, and then you had to wait a little bit. I mean, I think now it's much different because artists are releasing on Spotify all the time.
Yes.
But back then it was not like that. So in a way, my theory was that, of course, this was more. This was making producers more money in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to really talk about the industry part of the music scene, you know? It's about profit and money. And sometimes I feel like the stories that repeat itself and are so dark, it almost feels like an extension of slavery sometimes. It's really hardcore how people are treating other people.
You know what? In the beginning, when I first started, when this whole dance era came out, the money was so good. They didn't have a problem to pay that money. And then as a couple of years pass by, you get the young up and coming people who just want to be on stage. So they took the opportunity of making money away from all of us. The whole industry just started to change because of the young people just wanting the chance to be on stage, accepting 100 instead of 1,000, the way it was before. So it put a big dent in the industry as far as making money.
I also feel like in terms of, because you mentioned Spotify, right? And also and now where we have COVID and everything, all of the problems within the music industry just are being more highlighted more than ever before. And it just shows that it's not sustainable at all. Like musicians and artists are suffering so much. Spotify is not paying well. Artists have the worst contracts with their labels. And I feel like it comes down to accountability, responsibility, that when all the major labels, for example, are posting about Black Lives Matter and so on, I want them to readjust the contracts that they have with their artists, you know, especially with their Black artists. And I just hope that we can move towards that accountability culture, I would say.
But I think, and I think it's really what struck me when we talked in preparation, that you said really this question of accountability and responsibility, and to not only pose that question to producers and record companies, but also, and that's what I really find so great about your work, that also pose that question to the DJs and the consumers. So that how we consume music, that we should ask those questions. Who create, like what you did, like who produced that song and who got paid for it, and who am I really who am I really giving my money in this moment, you know? And I think I'm sorry that I'm going to put it in again, because this. Let's briefly talk about your story with DJ Bobo, because of course this is the most crazy one, and I also wonder how we can hold DJ Bobo accountable in a way. You know, let's look at it briefly because I cut it together.
What I'm gonna do without you.
Yeah, so these are actually just 3 examples of songs that you produced with DJ Bobo. Maybe tell us the story, how this happened.
Well, you know, we were doing the Mega Dance Festival, and we were the top acts, and I came on before him, and he was the last act, but it was like 7 different acts. We had Backstreet Boys, we were on promotion tour, they were opening up for me, and so it was a lot of 7 different groups, but me and him were the main acts, and he could never go on stage at the right time because everyone wanted to have more songs from me. And so he got mad at the promoter, why can't I get on stage on at the right time? So he saw my show, and afterwards he came to me and he said, wow, what an amazing show. We have a couple of days off. Maybe we can go into the studio and just play around and see what we come up with. And I was like, okay, wow. So then we went into the studio for the 1 day, not a couple of days, and it ended up coming up with 16 songs. And he gave me a 10,000 payment, Deutschmark.
Okay, so like 5,000 euros. Yeah.
10,000 Deutschmarks, and I signed a quitton that I received it. Just, okay, I received this 10,000, but on that very, very small print at the bottom, I was signing away all of my rights. So when I saw that first song on MTV, Let the Dream Come True, I was like, I had no idea, absolutely no idea that he was going to do that. So that was the beginning of a big crash in my life.
Yeah. Because also you told me this before that so he released all those songs. He made millions, I don't know, with your
triple platinum.
And what happened, and what also happened, that when he played these songs live, he used someone else to perform. It's actually, he used his white girlfriend and wife now to perform your voice.
Yes.
And you tried to sue him.
I tried to sue him. I tried to, but he had, of course, he had more money than me.
Yeah.
And I believe that he actually, some of the lawyers were paid off. I really believe it. Mm-hmm. And even the record companies, I had just finished my album, my solo album with Sony, that was promised to me after the intermission thing. And so I did it with the same DMP producers, my solo album. And then all of a sudden it got put on the table, put on the shelf after Bobo's released all of his songs with my voice on it and the videos and everything. So they just put me on the back burner. And I believe I was just actually what you call blackballed after that.
Yeah, because you also tried to contact record companies. You tried to contact radio stations,
nobody
TV stations to tell them, hey, this is not correct. So there we are not only talking about DJ Bobo's responsibility, but also the whole industry, kind of blocking this and saying, okay, no. We're not interested in this story, and then back in the day there was no other way for you to kind of come public or to talk about it, right?
And there was an incident where in Frankfurt he was doing a radio interview, and a friend of mine said, "Turn the radio on. Bobo's having an interview," and they asked him about the singer, and Bobo said that it was a big fat black woman who, housewife who doesn't want to be famous. And it's like, what? So I called the radio station, and they didn't even want to talk to me.
Yeah, and maybe Sarah, what do you think could be the structures, or do you know of any structures that would prevent this happening now, or what kind of work needs to be done to prevent these kind of structures to be recreated?
First of all, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
You have to get knowledge. You have to inform yourself. Like you're good at informing yourself, knowing about the music and knowing the industry. This is what these young people have to do: inform themselves. Don't just be everything that shines is not gold. Check the paperwork.
I totally agree. And first of all, I want to say I'm so sorry that this happened to you. And it's just so sad that it's like a pattern. It happens all the time in different ways. And it's difficult. I feel like in your story, we can really see how complicit all the other participants kind of were, which is, really bad. And one thing how we can cultivate this is maybe, you know, me as a DJ, I host DJ workshops, for example.
Exactly.
And
This is good.
And I'm trying to teach without being preachy that I wish for the people who are interested in DJing to ask themselves questions and keep checking in with themselves. I try to normalize that as well with myself. For example, I can ask myself, what kind of dance do I want to create for which communities and so on? And with what kind of feeling do I want the people to go home with? You know, it's like an internal work kind of. And do I know about the music that I'm DJing? You know? And those little questions that I want to keep asking myself, and just the bigger question, like, what do I want to contribute to the music industry? What is my role? Like, what is the bigger picture actually? How do I want to treat other people? And I just hope that we could normalize it without being like patting ourselves on the back how great we are or something like that. That's not what I mean. And yeah, as you said, we need more workshops where this is a huge part of the workshops, where people who are interested in the music industry learn about that part, but also about accountability, because it's not just knowing about your rights, but also how you want to treat people. Because even though it went to like to court, DJ Bobo still could have said, actually, I know when it comes to I have the rights, but still I see you as a human being and I want to support you. I'm going to make this right, at least a little bit. You know what I mean? There's a different layer to it. And sometimes when I think about it, my wish is actually that we don't need to go to court, that we can have like some kind of mediation. That would be like such a beautiful example of how we take accountability, because we can't force people to go into that accountability process, because it's a whole process. It's not like you telling the person you behaved in a very harmful way and then they change from one second to the other. They have to be ready to go into that process and learn. And I feel like we need more mediation structures within music industry and normalize that.
That's right.
I mean, what also really strikes me or shocks me is the fact how it really relates also to the body. No, it relates to black bodies, but also the voice. It's such a corporeal thing in a way, and that especially then in the music industry we see that this is the part that is kind of like just distracted. You know, you just take the voice from someone, and especially in this case with DJ Bobo, it's like that. I'm wondering, because I don't know about this, but like, is there also something about Urheberrecht, because I don't know the word in German, like in English, and you know, like personal right that needs to be changed in a way that something like this, that a voice cannot be taken in that sense? I don't know.
It's the way a contract is written. Now, if someone gives me a contract like that, I make sure that it's in there. You can't exploit my voice. You can't just do with what you want with my voice. Yeah, that's why I say it's good for you, whoever wants to be in the industry, to really check the contract well.
Yeah.
And make sure that's in there. That you just give your whole rights away and they can do whatever they want with your voice or your music or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, one thing, and maybe Sarah can also say something about, is the question whether, in what way has the industry changed? Because you're still producing, you're still making music, but you also told me that actually DJ Bobo tried to contact you again.
He did
recently, or just a couple of years ago, and they wanted to work with you again, actually. And that's just
I got all excited. I thought, yes, maybe he's going to be accountable finally. He's going to step up and make a change things for me, because I really went through a very bad period in my life. Lost my family, lost my house, lost my children, my husband. I'd lost everything that you can imagine, and then I was living out there on the street, and it was a very depressing moment for me. And I had even reached out to Bobo, please, can you help me? Can you help me? No, you got your 10,000, bye-bye. That's it. I don't owe you nothing else. I don't care what you're going through in your life. You got paid for that, and bye-bye. But then he did call me later after I finally made it back. I did time in jail, which was in the book, all, just out of depression for losing everything and my voice stolen from me, and and all of that. So it was very hard for me. I kind of gave up on life, didn't want to live no more. It was really a hard time for me, but I'm back, and I'm thank God, and I can laugh about it and cry also as well sometimes too. That the memory will never go away. But so he had called me up, and I thought, okay, now, yeah, he didn't call me personally. His management did,
yeah.
you know. But I thought, yeah, now he's gonna pay it out, and no, he offered me even pretty much less than what he did. That he offered me before. I guess he thought that I was so hungry for money that I would accept anything, and so it was like another slap in the face. So yeah.
And how is your experience, Sarah? Do you feel that things have changed, are changing? It's very slow. Is it?
It's hard to say because I'm just in my own kind of bubble when it comes to music industry, you know. So I don't know about the other parts. I can only speak for some part of the electronic music scene. And you know, now with internet access, it's so easy to sample anything. You can just like sample the audio of any YouTube clip that you like and just release it on your own label. It's so easy these days to set up your own label, sell your music on Bandcamp or whatever. And then if the song doesn't go becomes a hit or anything, then you're kind of safe, and usually people don't find out about it, you know. So that's one part. But I also feel like there is more awareness happening at the same time. And especially in Berlin, there are organizations like Music Pool that you can speak to for free or for little money, and they can give you guidance when it comes to contracts and navigating those kind of things. But it's hard to say because I feel like as long as we have award shows like the Grammys that are also very problematic, I'm not sure. You know, it's still like a very what's the word, monopoly kind of thing happening. Like you have those 5 big labels and those 2 important award shows, and I'm also questioning them because they're also reproducing a lot of the structures. And also in terms of speaking of award shows, they have those weird categories like urban, and then a Black artist is nominated in that category, even though it doesn't really make sense when it comes to their music. And it's kind of like, oh, you're Black, so you're going to be nominated in that category. And I feel like there needs to be happening like a lot of deconstruction and working on alternatives, because those structures weren't made for us, especially for the most marginalized in our society. So I'm more focused on building alternatives where we can build something by us, for us.
Yeah, I would just quickly, then you can say something, that if people who are watching the live stream right now want to ask questions, then we can receive them. And yeah, just needed to drop that, but you can reply. Or did you want to say something? No. Okay. Yeah, I think it's really important what you said, and I'm wondering, because I mean, this is what the museum kind of circles a little bit around. In what way? Because yesterday we had the rapper Megalo and Amuvu, who's a really he's very famous German rapper, but also he's actually not as famous as he should be because of the structures that Sarah was explaining. That even in rap, which is supposed to be a black genre in Germany, you don't see a lot of Black rappers actually. It's super wide actually. And he also mentioned that the problem, and said that yeah, it's still happening, you know, especially now a lot of rap artists are using songs from Africa. They're using like Afrobeat sounds, and they just copy them exactly the same song and just put German lyrics on it, and then it goes into the charts. And now at least, you know, we very quickly have people on YouTube commenting saying, hey, you stole this from this African artist, South African artist here or something. But still, I think, yeah, I don't know if they then pay the artist off and be like, okay, you know, here's a little bit, yeah. So actually, it's still a problem that is reproducing, and yeah, Megalo, he was also talking about it.
And I feel like we really need to speak about sustainability, you know?
Yeah.
And what does it mean to do something better or right? And what does it mean to have responsibility as an artist? And if you have a huge platform, instead of paying one artist one time 2,000 euro, how can it be more sustainable? And I don't know, when it comes to countries in Africa, I'm not sure if there's even something like GEMA, you know? And that might be complicated too, how to make that more sustainability if collaboration or projects are happening in different continents or countries. And we need to educate ourselves, because I imagine there are a lot of loopholes for people to take something away, and then the person that is taking the 2,000 euro is not even aware that it could have been so much better for them.
Did you, because I mean we have GEMA, and you talked about royalties, did you understand the structures in Germany of how royalties are paid when you were younger?
Well, I learned it. I learned it actually from Bill Summers. Bill Summers gave us, each one of us, a lot of knowledge about publishing and the royalties and things like that. And so I was registered with BMI in America. It's like GEMA here. But GEMA gave a lot of, when I was with DMP producers. Intermission. When I was with Intermission, I got a lot of royalty advances from the publishing company and from GEMA. And then afterwards, everyone disappeared. And so, I mean, I haven't been in touch with any GEMA statements. I've called and just been like knocking on a door 1,000 times and never opens to find out what's going on, what happened to the producers and the royalties that I'm supposed to get. And because the advances that I got was already, I'm on zero now, so I should, years ago, start my normal royalty payments, which were really quite good, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. So, and I haven't received in almost 15 years. So, I mean, that's just like, for me, it's money in the bank. I just need to find out how to go about getting it. Sabrina, can you help me? Figure that one out.
But I mean, I don't know if you know more about this, but I think that's also, now I was wondering whether that's one thing that should also happen, that people, you know, there is GEMA, but in a way, especially when it comes then to like international corporations or like collaborations, that there is no kind of way of how you know how to get to your money, you know, and because I think that's like something that repeated also with many artists that we have in the museum. That the story you told also, you said Kerem, you knew him from the Funkadelic. He also told us that when he produced with Farina, he also got like his royalties beforehand, and maybe that's why it sounds like a great deal, because you get a big lump sum of money on one spot, and then you think, okay, wow, that's gonna last me some time, and then you realize, oh no, I can't live off this forever. This is how it seems, right? And that you really need to know, hey, wait, maybe that's not the best deal, but the best would be to be like paid continuously.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Yeah. And do you know of anything like this, that there is some kind of structure that supports young artists in learning about these structures, about GEMA royalties and da-da-da-da?
There are many different organizations or networks. Some organization is called She Said So, for example, or Female Pressure. You can reach out to them, and it's like a network of female identifying professionals in the music industry. And so that is one part, like kind of self-organized almost. And as I mentioned before, Music Pool in Berlin, but I don't know when it comes to other countries or cities even, you know, what kind of services are out there. But this brings me to an interesting point, which is transparency. I feel like we need to speak more about money in general and normalize it, especially in the music industry. You know, with my transmission project, we recorded a couple of podcasts, and one of the podcast episodes was called Sustainability. And one of our guests, Avril, said that there's no minimum or maximum in the music industry when it comes to payments. And that's also really problematic, you know. And I also don't know if it's like a German thing that we don't often talk about money or payments. And I think if we manage to cultivate that in some way, that could also be some form of prevention.
So that in a way there needs to be some exchange between artists to talk about, okay, how much money can I get for this and that, or how much, you know, what, because what did you think when DJ Bobo offered you this 10,000? What did you think?
I was making so much money at the time, and it was like, okay, well, bam, 10,000. He thought I was going to be in the studio for 2 days for that, you know, but for me, I knocked those songs out in like 2-3 hours. I was done with it, and he was like shocked. And so it was like, actually, oh, you got 10,000 then you was only here 2 hours. Well, I'm a professional. That's how I do it. And so finish, and that's it. But it was a good payment at the time. But I was making already a lot of money. So for me, it wasn't so important, the money.
Yeah, of course I understand. But you also, at that moment, you thought that you would be on tour with him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Because also you said that's what he said to you, right? And that's also what the lawsuit then at the end was about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask, are there any questions from people watching the live stream? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, but maybe Sarah, do you have any more questions?
I want to throw an idea into the room. Because I don't know too much about self-organization, but I feel like we can only rely on ourselves as a community as well. And it doesn't make sense to wait for others to do what we wish for. And I somehow have this idea of like, you know, archiving all of these stories that are out there in the music industry, especially that affect Black women and women of color. And it would be so nice to form like this kind of collective. And I don't know, Lori, have you exchanged with many other Black women who had kind of like similar experiences?
Of course. Like I said, Victoria Miles is one of them, and Tanya from Culture Beat. She had the same experience as me, and she's not even allowed to perform any of the Culture Beat songs. And the producers don't allow her to use the music anymore. So it was a big struggle for her. And can you imagine all of the wonderful hits from Culture Beat with her voice, great voice and everything, and she's not allowed to. So we communicate a lot. She's in London. We talk a lot and we help each other. She got me some good connections for some bookings and songwriting. She's helping me on a few tracks, and so yeah. But
So
the most fact is that most of the artists from way back then, they're not even interested in doing anything anymore. I think I'm basically one of the very few left at this age, still out there trying to get that dream, you know?
But I think I wanted to, before I get to the question, because we got some, I also wanted to show your book. And because you wrote a book about your life, or someone wrote a book about your life, you collaborated with an author, and we talked about. I mean, I said I think it's really important that because what Sarah also mentioned, that your story is told and that people experience it. But I also said that I have my issues with the book because I could tell that it was written by a white person and from a white perspective, and I would be so interested, and that's why it's so great that you raise it. What it would be if Black authors, writers, movie makers would tell your story and the stories of other artists that you mentioned. So. Yeah, I think, and that's why I think it's also important that we have you here, because I wish, and maybe it's gonna happen. We have to keep thinking about.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now. I finally have the English manuscript.
Yeah.
Printed out, so I now see it in black and white, no more on the computer screen. And I'm going through it with a fine-tooth comb right now, because I did notice that some of the stories that I told her in German, actually, now that I've had it translated into the English version, is like, wait a minute, this is completely not what I was trying to say. But either way, she did a fabulous job.
Yes,
an amazing job. And but now I do have a couple of film people that are interested to help me maybe make this a film documentary. And so I'm hoping that once this COVID thing is dies down, that I can get started on making the movie from the book.
Do you want to comment on it before I get to the question?
Yes, I would love to. I'm happy to hear that. That's so cool. I can't wait. I was also thinking in terms of like organizing, if there's a way to bring all of these folks together and then like have a group of lawyers that we can trust and just have like this kind of collective. And then, because you mentioned money, we mentioned money a lot of times now, and money is power and so on. And you need money in order to get your money back, basically.
You need money to get your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm always like having this vision of like starting this huge fundraiser or something to make people aware of the story. I mean, it's problematic that we even have to ask our community for money, even though it wasn't our fault, and people should be should take responsibility to get their shit together, basically. But as we've seen in the last months, how people come together in terms of like fundraising and so on, I feel like that could be maybe an alternative to create a basis where you have resources to get into the process of getting your rights back, or making things a little bit right, at least.
Yes.
So we have one question from the audience watching from home, which also concerns money. Lori, do you think that there were more reasons beside the financial motive to keep you in the shadows? Do you think it was only to make more money of you, or you think there was other reasons too?
No, it was just that the industry was not having the black and black formation. Okay, and the bottom line, it comes down to racism. Period. That's it. Sorry to say that, but
no, I think it's important that you name it, that we name it. And there was another question. I don't know. You can decide. Could you sing again for us?
Of course. Sure.
But we only have.
I can get to. Can you bring me my phone? I can send it to him real quick. Take a second.
Okay. Okay, we need a little.
Yeah, just a moment. In fact, I want to sing "Happy Birthday" to my dad.
Oh, yeah. Actually, okay, then we're going to do that. So you're going to phone him now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you told me before, and this is a bit crazy now that we do this, but we do it because we're the Deutsche Museum für Schwarze Unterhaltung and Black Music. It's your dad's 90th birthday, right?
Yes.
And where does he live?
In California.
He lives in California, and you wanted to call him live and wish him a happy birthday, and that's maybe then we can hear your voice singing again. That's a good, that was perfect.
Let me call my dad.
Yes, let's call him. What's his name?
Clarence.
Clarence, okay. Clarence Ham.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I would join you, but my singing...
come on, stop it.
My singing voices, nobody wants to hear that.
What am I on? I don't have my glasses. Did you turn something on? Oh, airplane mode. Okay.
Do you need help?
Oh, battery dead.
Oh no! You don't know? Oh my God! And you don't know his number, right?
I do 510.
Okay, then let's follow. So now, wait. Don't say it into the microphone so people cannot hear it.
Oh.
If you don't speak into the microphone. No, but it's not yet dialing. Don't know if it works. No, I tried. I don't know. Try it again.
001.
Four,
2446.
I think now.
No, I don't want to. No, just say hello, Mr. Ham. Say.
Hello, Mr. Ham. I got someone who wants to sing a song for you. Sing it.
Hi, Daddy. This is your daughter. Can he turn the face? No, he don't get that. Hi, Papa. This is me. I want to just wish you I'm doing a TV show right now in front of people, and I said I need to call my dad and wish him a 90th and sing him a happy birthday. Wishing you all the best for your 90th. So I'm going to sing it for you right now, Papa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my daddy. Happy birthday to you. Yes. No, I haven't found little Joey. I'm in the middle of a TV show right now, Dad. Everyone is listening, and everyone is listening to you. Say, Joanne, this is Joanne.
Hey, hello, Mr. Ham. Nice to meet you. Thank you for doing this. We're going to have to continue the show, but I guess Lori is going to call you back later, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have a great birthday. Bye-bye. Bye.
My dad, he's 90 years old, and he's still on the go. He's perfect healthy.
And it's funny because I read your book, and it actually starts with a story about your dad. And I feel like I know him. This is amazing. Okay, do we have any more questions? No, okay.
Before we end, I would like to say something about the projects I got going on.
Yes, okay, of course, tell us.
I am an ambassador for Voice Aid. The song that I sung, Children of the World, is a Voice Aid anthem. And on the weekend, we will be streaming the Hidden Champions awards event. And so you can click on voiceaid.com and join us on this weekend for the Hidden Champions event, and it would be really nice.
And they can see you perform again, because the person who asked to hear your voice again.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think, Sarah, if there's, I would wrap it up for today, and I think we should really keep in contact. And I also want to think about how we, as the museum, can help with this, with thinking about how to make the music industry maybe, or how to just solidarize and work together.
Yeah, everybody come together and help each other get their money.
Yeah, but it's not just about money, you know. Okay, so thank you so much, Lori, for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm really honored, and like I said before, it feels like you're the voice of my childhood, teenage years, which really feels...
Me and your mom, we were probably partying.
Yes, it feels really important. And thank you so much, Sarah, for also joining us tonight. And that was it for today. And it was actually also it for the live streaming events of the Deutsche Museum für Schwarze Unterhaltung und Black Music. We hope we can soon continue and open our doors again. And we are very thankful for everybody who joined the streams. Thank you and have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Wisst ihr, was ich gerne hätt? So ein rosarotes Himmelbett, wo man, wenn man darin liegt und sich in die Kissen schmiegt, an schöne Dinge denken kann oder auch einmal dann Träume irgendwann träumen kann. Oder wenn's gefällt, mit sich selbst unterhält, sich die Frage stellt, bist du glücklich? Oder wisst ihr, unterhält, sich die Frage stellt, bist du glücklich? Gleich am Bedamm möchte ich schon auch ein